dawn of the 21st century, the phenomenon known as global climate change has risen to the forefront of the American consciousness. The overwhelming scientific evidence makes it clear that Earth is not only suffering from the effects of our industrial society, but fighting back. In the past decade, the threat of natural disasters has greatly increased, which has led to millions of people being displaced and killed across the world. Our wasteful consumer habits have drained our natural resources at a rate that is not sustainable for the future of the planet. But in this case, Earth is not the only one being abused. Pollution has had an adverse effect on those living and breathing in close proximity to the places where we leave our waste. The health, lifestyle, and well-being of people in our communities are at stake when they are facing what experts like to call environmental injustice. In our push for environmental justice, we must take responsibility for preserving and nurturing our planet and hope of creating a bright future for humanity against the plagues of industrial society.
The environmental justice movement is a movement that was born out of the civil rights movement and that has really looked at defining environmentalism and really putting, new things on the table in relationship to how we're going to think about the environment and how the environment impacts our health. So it's looking at where we live, work, play, and pray.
The environmental justice movement is about winning environmental health and environmental protection for people of low income and color, regardless of where they live.
I think that environmentalism really encompasses environmental health. And when you're talking about health, I mean like wellness of the mind, body, and soul. So not just like protecting wilderness for, what traditional environmentalists a long time ago, or the people that are recognized as traditional environmentalists a long time ago would call like wilderness. For me, it's protecting our entire environment so that our children can have a better, great place to live and to make sure that we're healthy.
Traditionally, black and brown communities have had been targeted for environmental products and placed in their communities, such as sewage treatment plants, such as bus depots, heavy construction, waste, marine transfer stations, a lot of injustices such as that.
So environmental injustice includes all of the private and government actions that make our communities unhealthy and not livable. Government action that place toxic land uses in the same area as where people live, and targeting low-income communities and communities of color and immigrant communities for these toxic uses, and not really putting in the proper environmental protections that need to be in place in order to ensure their health and their well-being.
Toxic facilities in their community, polluters, those sort of things that we can help people understand that they do not have to have and do not have to live in those extreme situations.
And some examples of this would be like in Northern Manhattan, 6 out of the 7 or 5 out of the 6 at any given time of the diesel bus depots are located uptown. You have issues with disproportionate impact and health disparities around lead poisoning. So although there was the lead paint was banned, you have many people of color, and sometimes these are immigrant populations, folks that have just moved here, and things like that, that are living in these substandard housing conditions, and their health is being impacted, even though they're kind of working to support our whole kind of like infrastructure and economy.
I think that people should, first of all, be aware that their environment, they can impact their environments, and that their environments are the result of other people and their own action. It's not just something that happens to be there. So if you're not happy with your housing situation, if you're not happy with your the air that you breathe, you're not happy with the quality of the water that you drink or recreate in, there's something that you can do about it. There are people that you could contact and policies that you could make to change in order to affect the changes in your environment.
To help protect all communities against pollution and other acts of environmental injustice, we must recognize that it is largely due to our rapidly decreasing petroleum-based energy infrastructure and our wasteful habits. Only through a reduction of our carbon footprint can we progress towards environmental justice. Pulling away from fossil fuels and other types of pollutants means embracing the power of renewable energies. Solar power, wind power, hydroelectricity, and hydrogen fuel cell all represent the future of an environmentally sustainable world. To make this sort of structural transformation, the support of Washington is needed to implement these new energies. Unfortunately, conservative resistance makes it difficult to leave behind the energy industries of times past, and because of this, the struggle continues to progress towards alternative energy. Perhaps in an America that wholeheartedly embraces this environmental dilemma, alternative energies will have a more welcome reception. But until that time, we must become aware of what efforts are being made to not only use these green energies, but to implement them into those communities of low income and color that are facing the hazards of environmental injustice.